House Democrats have been clear that we will not support a partisan Republican spending bill that continues to gut the health care of the American people. That's not a clean continuing resolution. It's a dirty spending bill, and one that is unacceptable.
If the Republican CR doesn't pass, it's likely the government would shut down. Would Democrats be okay with that outcome?
We're a long way from that, but Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the presidency.
Meaning it would be the Republicans' fault, is what that answer meant. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries reaffirming that the Democrats will not support the Republican effort on a short-term continuing resolution to keep the government funded through November 27th. This new bill, even including a $30 million security increase for Congress following the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The House aiming to vote tomorrow on that clean CR. Republicans can lose only 2 votes to pass the bill out of the House before going to the Senate. Joining me now is Georgia Congressman Andrew Clyde, a member of the House Appropriations Committee. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. So you've got just 5 legislative days left before a shutdown potential. What can you tell us?
Well, I will tell you that I think Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer are going to own a shutdown because the American people put Republicans in charge, and we're the majority now, so we are going to govern, and we're going to do so as fiscally responsible as possible, as 218 votes allow. And so I think that we are going to have this short-term spending freeze, and we're going to move it in the House. And, you know, if Chuck Schumer wants to shut down the government, that's going to be on him. But it will take 7 Democrats in the Senate. The House doesn't have this rule, but the Senate does. It will take the 7 Democrats to vote to end debate and move this to a vote on the Senate floor. And I think they need to do that because they need to responsibly fund the government.
Explain, Congressman, what Hakeem Jeffries is referring to when he says gutting health care for American citizens. What do the Democrats want? What is the reason that they claim that they are pushing back and will not agree to your bill?
Well, I think what he's talking about are the COVID-era subsidies for Obamacare. Not one Republican has ever voted for it. It's a problem. We're not in COVID anymore. So I think this is an issue of what's not in the bill. This is a clean funding or spending freeze, rather, for the next 2 months so that we can get the appropriations process completed. I'm on the Appropriations Committee. We've moved all 12 bills in committee, so they're coming to the House floor. They need to be passed on the House, and then the Senate, it's up to the Senate. And again, those 7 Democrat senators need to vote to end debate in the Senate on these appropriations so we can finally get this budget done and to the president's desk for signature. And it's up to the Democrats. You know, if they want to play ball, fine. If they want to shut the government down, it's going to be a Schumer shutdown.
Well, it's incredible because, you know, we talk so much about getting back to pre-COVID spending. How are you going to get back to pre-COVID spending if you continue to put out more subsidies, which were allocated as a result of COVID and a specific moment in time?
You're exactly correct, Maria. COVID is over with. We don't need to be spending more money on COVID subsidies. Yeah. And that needs to be heard loud and clear across our country. And I think you'll find that Americans will support that.
It's been an incredible week and a half. Utah officials have formally charged Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin. They've charged him with 7 counts, including aggravated murder. There is new evidence, Congressman, that includes the suspect's DNA on the trigger of the rifle and a text message, which is a confession that he sent to his roommate. FBI Director Kash Patel told the Senate Judiciary Committee yesterday more people may be involved and that the agency is tracing how and where all of this was first funded. Watch this.
We follow the money. So we work with our partners at the Treasury Department to trace where the money came from, how these individuals paid for the training they received or the platforms they were using, and also how these individuals collectively got together in whatever groups they were on whatever social media sites they were on, to utilize clickbait to make money for their ideology.
But do you also believe that some of this may be coming from overseas?
Yes.
Congressman, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think that's a stunning revelation.
Yeah.
I think Director Patel has done an amazing job. I mean, in 33 hours, they caught this guy. And now they're widening the net to see where the money that funded him and you know, where the other people are, or who they are, rather, and where the streams of funding are coming from. You know, not only does the FBI need to investigate this, and I think they're doing an amazing job at it, but I signed on to a letter where Chip Roy is asking a select committee to be created in Congress for us to use our authorities to follow the money as well, because I think that's critically important that we shut down this evil that is just flowing across our nation, trying to disrupt our government and trying literally to take out people of authority or people of influence. And I think that's wrong.
I mean, I think that was what really struck me, the fact that he said, yes, he thinks that some of the money is coming from overseas. I mean, where do you start in terms of considering who that might be? Our adversaries like China, Russia, Iran?
It could be. It could be there, but I have, you know, under Kash Patel's leadership, I have full faith that the FBI will find the sources of that money, and they will find every solitary person who was involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and they will bring them to justice, and I'm confident in our FBI in doing that.
And by the way, the president's also looking under every rock, including George Soros and what he's been funding as well. Meanwhile, President Trump signing a memorandum for a federal crime crackdown in Memphis, Tennessee, signaling that Chicago is next. Congressman, you introduced the Common Sense Law Enforcement and Accountability Now in D.C. Act, known as the Clean D.C. Act. It repeals the City Council's anti-police law. Tell us about that.
Well, you know, that was a bill that actually J.D. Vance, when he was a senator, and I introduced back in 2023. It passed the House and the Senate, both in a bipartisan way, but President Biden vetoed that bill. But we are bringing it back now that we have the Republican trifecta, and Senator Cruz is the sponsor on the Senate side. So I think you'll see that bill will come to the House floor in a week or two, a couple weeks, and be passed by the House and the Senate, and then go to President Trump, who will sign this into law, because this bill literally strikes down as you mentioned, the anti-police law that the city of Washington, D.C. put in place, and it has demoralized the police, and it has done terrible things when it comes to their recruiting, and it basically tells the police that the D.C. City Council does not have their back, and that's not what we stand for. We stand for law and order. We want the Metro Police to have, you know, the full confidence of the government behind them, and we want them to control crime in this city, and President Trump has been leading on that effort, and this is one of those bills that needs to be passed to ensure that that happens.
All right, Congressman, we'll be watching that as well. Thanks so much for being here this morning, Congressman Andrew Clyde.
Thanks.
All right, we'll see you soon, sir. Stay with us. We'll be right back.